Happy New Year, Revenue Rascals. You made it through another year, and I decided I'm going to share with you something I have been doing for as long as I can remember, and I'm a goal getter. And this is one way that I make sure it happens every single year. All right, this is the deal. Most people build a vision board that feels good for about 2 days, and then it disappears under a stack of mail, collects dust on a bulletin board, or becomes forgotten Canva file buried somewhere on their laptop. Mine shapes how I lead my year. What does it do? Well, it shapes my entire identity for the year, my decisions, my habits, my energy, and the way that I build my business and life. And before I lose you, none of this subscribes to the woo-woo culture that's out there. I don't quote unquote manifest. I don't wait for miracles. I use visual strategy to train my brain into clarity and execution. So if you've always wanted to dabble in something like this, but didn't want to sign up for all the woo-woo, this one is for you. So guess what? This is the plot twist for 2025, and it's the first time this happened to me, which is why I'm sharing this episode, which is why I want everyone to do it in 2026. I locked this baby in tighter than ever. And guess what? Halfway through 2025, I had to completely redo my vision board because I had already gotten everything that was on the vision board by summertime this year. And I reflected on that like, wow, you do this every year. Why this year? And it was incredibly insane what I discovered, and I wanted to share it with you all. So happy New Year. And here is how you create that vision board of dreams. It's time for Rascal Ramp. Unfiltered truth, straight talk, no fluff. All right. So first of all, I need to tell you why vision boards work with zero woo and all science. Before we get into the how, you need to understand the why, because once you understand the science behind this, the whole process clicks into place. This is not spiritual. This is biology, psychology, and behavioral science. All right, let's see if I can get all of these really technical words out without stumbling on my words. So the first thing is the reticular activating system, RAS. There's a small network of neurons in your brainstem called the reticular activating system. Its entire job is to filter what you notice. You're hit with 11 million bits of information every second. Your conscious mind can process about 40. So what makes it into the short list? Well, whatever you tell your brain is important. When your vision board consistently shows you the future you want, your RAS system starts scanning for opportunities, filters out distractions, and helps you notice the people, ideas, and resources that match your goals. This is absolutely not magic. This is selective perception at work. The next thing is visualization in neuroscience. Functional MRI research actually shows that when you visualize something clearly, the same neural pathways activate as if you're doing the thing. Your brain literally practices the identity and actions required to achieve that outcome. This is why elite athletes visualize how they want to perform before they perform. They're not manifesting victory, they're rehearsing it. And you see, your vision board becomes a daily rehearsal of the next version of you. Let's talk about identity-based goals and how they outperform outcome goals. Psychology has proven that we follow through more consistently when our goals connect to our identity, not just results. So, for example, I hit $1 million in revenue is a result. Become the kind of leader who executes at a high level is identity. Vision boards show you the identity, not just the target. Now, let's be clear here, friends. You can still have a target, but it needs to tie back to your identity. And humans, well, they simply act in alignment with who they believe they are. So, behavioral science, super fun topic. This is the deal. Your environment drives action. Every behavioral scientist says the same thing. Your environment determines your habits. By putting your vision board on your phone wallpaper, your computer, your bathroom mirror, on your desk, you're creating visual cues that reinforce your goals all day long. It's not motivation, it's environmental design. And you'll see right now, I'm going to grab it for you. I have one of them printed out right here that hangs out on my desk all day. And you'll see here, and if you're watching on YouTube, I have a bank account goal, and it's covered with a piece of paper because I'm not going to share it with you until I hit it, so I can show you this bad boy actually works. That is my second version for 2025 because I already locked in my first set of goals. So now let's talk about one of my favorite words because my ADHD brain loves it, dopamine. So dopamine and future orientation. When you visualize a meaningful future, your brain releases dopamine, the neurotransmitter tied to motivation, drive, and commitment. This is what keeps you engaged in long-term goals. And this is what helps you push through obstacles and stay consistent. It's not hype, not manifesting, just chemistry. Now let's talk about self-efficacy, confidence through evidence. Oh, I love this one so much. Before we jump into the vision board portion of this comes true with all of the sales coaching and training that I do as well. Because when I ask sellers or founders to do certain things and they're like, what evidence says I can even do this? So then I break it down into micro steps. And as you have success with every micro step, you become more confident. And that is the game we're playing here too. Because you see, every action you take, even the smallest one towards the images on your board, your brain collects evidence that you're becoming that person. And evidence leads to what I had said before, confidence. Confidence leads to momentum. Momentum leads to identity, and identity leads to results. This is why 2025 really clicked for me so fast is I began matching my habits to my identity, and everything fell into place so quickly that, like I had said, by summertime, I needed my second board for the year.
Welcome to Why This Works and Why It Doesn't. Real strategies, real results, no sugarcoating.
So now let's talk about how to build that board that actually moves your life and business, well, forward. So what we're going to break down is what I like to call the 6 domains every high performance vision board should include. So my boards combine personal and professional goals because separating them absolutely never works. Everything influences everything. And if you've been following me for a long enough time, you also know that I absolutely do not believe in work-life balance. I operate under work-life integration. So much less stressful. You get better results. Your friends and your family get to get involved in what you do all of the time. It becomes a very supportive place to be, and you can reach your goals faster. And then you're not sitting there with mom guilt or partner guilt or life guilt. You got to integrate, baby. Balance is dead. All right, so here are the 6 domains I recommend. Number 1, leadership and career mastery. What you want to be known for, how you lead, the skills and performance habits you're committed to this year. Number 2 is financial growth, your revenue goals, your financial health, your freedom metrics, not just the money, but what the money unlocks. Number 3 is health and high performance. It's your energy, strength, vitality. And if you listened to my Christmas Day episode, we talk so much about this. Go dive in after you listen to this one. But health and high performance is your energy, your strength, and your vitality again, and the habits that make you effective across every single area of life. Number 4 is family and relationships, adventure, presence, traditions, the relationships that deserve more of you this year. And I'll tell you a story. When I first moved to Park City, clearly I just moved here, so I didn't have like a lot of friends. I know a few people who lived here, but I had to start all over. And one of the things that I put on my vision board was me and my future friends of Park City going on vacation together, because I love family and friend vacations. And that happened by month 3 of last year because I focused on it and it was part of my vision board. Number 5 is lifestyle and adventure. It's basically the environment that you want to be in, the experiences that light you up, and just everything makes it delicious. The version of you that plays, explores, creates, and feels alive. You'll also know if you listen to my Christmas Day episode, horses made me come alive in 2025. So much so that I'm actually creating the first and only, what is it? It is a horse program for confident selling and growth. And I am so excited to talk about it. 2026 summer, just know you're going to want to come to Park City, my friends. And number 6, identity and self-expression. How do you walk into a room? How do you communicate? How do you show up as the next level version of yourself? A powerful vision board shows the full ecosystem of your life, not a Pinterest collage of random goals. So what is my Rascal method for building your vision board? Well, I'm just going to share with you the exact method that I use every single year. And it's the one I've been teaching my kids since they were little. You know, I'm trying to get both my children to be entrepreneurs because I love it so much myself. And I want my children to have both the time and financial freedom that's provided through entrepreneurship. But entrepreneurship is hard. Like in 2025, I think I helped my son create 3 businesses. Yeah, 3 businesses. And let's just say only one of them is still going, right? But that's just how it goes. And my daughter is getting there as well. My daughter helps film all of my content for me. She just like absolutely loves it. She has such a good eye and she's 9 years old. It's super fun. Okay. So kids can do this too. My daughter is definitely more into it than my son, but it was so sweet last year. Like we sat down on Christmas Eve together and we built our vision boards and then we put them all over the place. And you know what? I looked at hers just a couple of weeks ago and I was like, girl, you've locked in everything you've wanted. And it's November, so you did it. So step 1, first thing you need to do is brain dump everything. No filtering, no self-judgment. Just write out every single thing you think you want. Step number 2 is to filter for alignment. So I want to put a big warning here. Early on in my business and early on in my career, I let other people tell me what success and wealth looked like. They told me what I should do. I listened. I did it. But what I found is that I was building somebody else's dream. And this is the deal. My business does really well. I'm really successful. I'm a sought after fractional CRO and trainer. I absolutely love what I do. And I get asked all of the time, they're like, why don't you scale this thing? Why don't you have 10 trainers underneath you? Why haven't you done X, Y, and Z? And I'm like, I like the simplicity of what I have right now. And I like the way that it's set up. So I don't know if that's for me. And so that's why I don't include that on my vision boards when somebody else might. So when I say filter for alignment, which of these goals that you've written down match the identity you're committed to this year, and which ones don't? Well, what you're going to do is you're going to get rid of all the ones that don't really after your brain dump and just harness in the ones that you really do. Next, number 3 is I have some fun in Canva. Like back in the day, we used to go to the store, buy a bunch of magazines, cut out pictures that worked. And well, at the end of the day, Canva has every image underneath the sun and it's super easy and it's creative. Like my 9-year-old, like I said, can do it. So I like using Canva now. And I also think it gets really fun and it's just a blast to do. So first of all, you don't just have to use the images that are inside Canva. You can upload your own as well, which is super, super, helpful. And you might want to upload certain photos of your family or your friends, or maybe pictures of places you want to go again, or, anything that's like Canva's not going to have, right? Just upload all of that so that you have it. So then what you will do is once everything's in there, you can keyword search on images and all the different things, and you just start to make this collage. And Canva has so many collage templates, so just pick one and I'll show you which one I do again. Okay, so it looks like this. And you can see that I just drag everything to where I want it to be. This is my visualization. And so I just showed you my vision board. I mean, that's pretty personal to share. So I hope that you absolutely loved it. But that is the end to my 2025. And so for 2026, because I did this one halfway through the year, some of these images are going to have to carry over to 2026. And that's totally fine. And I'm really excited. But you want to go through all of the categories. Remember those 6 domains and make sure that you have photos that represent all of them. And be careful not to use too many words. I noticed that throws me off. So just really important keywords. So on mine, I have friendship, wealth, joy, freedom, just real powerful one words versus long ones. I prefer the 1-2 punch on that one. Okay.
All right, rascals, let me ask you this. How much money have you wasted replacing shoes, sneakers, or even bags that could have lasted way longer if only you'd been taken better care of them? I know for me, running from meetings to kids' activities, life gets messy fast. And that's why I always have Jason Mark Quick Wipes on hand. Jason Mark is trusted care to help you get the most out of what you wear. They're not just about cleaning. They're about protecting what you love while protecting the planet. Their wipes are now 100% plant-based and plastic-free, made from renewable lyocell fibers. They're individually wrapped so you can toss them in your bag, your car, or like me, your kids' backpacks. And it's not just convenience. Jason Mark is part of the worldwide B Corp movement, meeting the highest standards for social and environmental impact. They're EPA Safer Choice certified, so you know the formulas are safe for your family. And their products are USDA, bio-based, and certified biodegradable. That means no harmful junk like PFAS or VOCs. Just high-performance care that keeps your stuff looking fresh while doing right by the planet. Personally, as a busy mom and entrepreneur, Quick Wipes are my favorite. They've saved my sneakers from coffee spills, playground dust, you name it. One wipe and I'm ready to walk into my next meeting looking sharp. So here's the deal. Go to jasonmark.com and use promo code RevenueRascals at checkout for 25% off your order. One time per customer. Again, that's jasonmark.com, code RevenueRascals. And remember, this podcast is free thanks to sponsors like Jason Mark. I'm ungating sales strategies people pay me 6 figures for. So go support them, grab your Quick Wipes or your favorite product, and keep your kicks looking fresh.
So now that you have created this beautiful non-woo vision board, I need you to put it everywhere. So for me, I have the screensaver on my phone as one. I have one on the mirror in my bathroom. I have one in my closet. I have one on my desk, and I keep one in my car. All of the places. So I probably look at my vision board a couple hundred times a day. And it's not intentional. It's just everywhere that I go. So subconsciously, I'm gathering all of this information. And I really believe this super simple thing that I do of putting it everywhere makes a significant difference of maybe why, yours hasn't worked before. It just hasn't been in enough places. So step 5 is to revisit your vision board every single quarter, because this is the deal. You evolve. Yep, you do. Your goals evolve, your identity evolves. And if something is not in alignment and you don't want it anymore, remove it and replace it, reprint and hit go. Sometimes we put things on our vision boards that we think that we want. And then when we start getting them, we're like having like a visceral reaction. We're like, nope, that's actually not what I wanted. And then you have the ability to change it out. And I don't want you to look at it like, oh, let's say, for example, you wanted to lose 20 pounds was one of your personal goals, and you're at the end of quarter one and you haven't lost any weight. That is not when you get to remove that goal, friends. If you still want it, it stays, okay? But what I'm talking about is, let's say, for example, you went to market with a new product or an offer in your business in Q1, and you just realized like it flopped. It didn't sit well with your buyer pool. You didn't want to fulfill it. It just missed the mark. Well, instead of torturing yourself for all of 2026, remove it and swap it out with something that makes more sense, because now you've learned something about your business and your buyer pool and you can make the adjustment. So that's what I'm talking about, revisiting it quarterly. And then also one thing that I love to do, so bringing mine back up again, because it's a collage and it only has a certain amount of clearly pictures I can fit here, is if I have reached something, I change it. So I don't just let it sit there. I literally swap out the image and reprint them all with whatever the next thing is that I want to evolve into. I don't know anyone else that does that. And I kind of think it might be the secret sauce that I just kind of stumbled on.
Let's bring it home. Rascal wrap-up time. Key takeaways and a resource to keep you winning.
So to just talk a little bit and bring it all back together is, how do you use your board all year long? Well, the deal is that the board isn't really the goal, it's the compass. And here is how we use it as a compass. Compare your weekly habits to the person that's on the board. It's super important. If your weekly, daily, monthly actions and habits aren't supporting what you actually want, what the heck are you doing? Switch it up, make the changes that you need to do. Every single time someone asks you to do something or you sit down to write your to-do list, does it support that vision board or pull away from it? Have that reflection time. And it's really important when you're going to make a decision in your life, like maybe you're going to move, maybe you're changing careers, you might sell a new product, you might want to take a trip. Well, look at it when you're making decisions. Allow it to be your compass. Is it in alignment with what you said you were committed to evolving into? Also, I want it to be a source that nudges you when you've drifted away from your commitments. This happens. You get busy, distracted, pulled in different directions. The more discipline you can have to nudge yourself back to this board, that is when you're going to start to see things happen. The other thing that's really fun is that you're going to start to notice, if you choose to pay attention, that things will become easier when your brain has a clear direction. This is so powerful. I remember a conversation I had on a business cruise, like maybe at this point, 3 or 4 years ago. He was much younger than me. Much younger, probably a decade younger than me, and 10 times more financially successful than I am. And he was preparing to sell his business. And at this time, I was frustrated with a lot of things, and I was trying to figure out how I was going to pivot and change. And he said something to me that I thought was really wise. And he said, your brain doesn't know what to do because you change your focus too much. And that hit home, and I have absolutely never forgotten it ever again in my life. And that was like 3 or 4 years ago. And I became even more obsessed with my vision boards, my direction, everything at that point. And that's really when I started to see this like 10x growth in my business, my life, my happiness, my joy, is because I gave my brain something to focus on and stayed super committed to it. I will say, like, I have ADHD, like probably, I don't know, every single entrepreneur in the world. And the deal is it's really easy for us to like go in lots of different directions, just hit surface level, never go deep. And so this vision board was like my accountability buddy in a lot of ways. And it completely transformed the way that I set goals and achieve goals. So take it. Take it. Do it. Okay. The next thing is that I want you to track the identity shifts happening over time. I like to do it month by month where I look at that and I just do like a real quick jot down, like, great, I'm closer to X, I'm closer to Y. Like I can see myself embodying that. It feels really good in the reflective time. Just helps you once again, stay aligned to that compass that you've built. So at the end of the day, your board truly creates coherence between who you want to be and how you actually show up. Now, if you have liked what you've heard today, can I ask just a small favor before we wrap up? Could you please follow the show, subscribe to the show, comment, review, depending on where you see this podcast. It helps us grow. It really, really does. So if you like what we're saying on Revenue Rascals, help us reach more people, and it only takes a few seconds. All right, let's wrap this baby up. I know it's New Year's Day, and I actually hope you're listening to this on New Year's Day and you're going to do this with like a friend or a family member, or perhaps you're just going to do it yourself. But of course, if you're listening to this later than New Year's Day and it's still the first few weeks of January, jump in and do this. And if you're listening to it halfway through the year, what's stopping you from doing it halfway through the year? No one said that you have to do a vision board on January 1st. So listen, this is the deal. A great year isn't something you stumble into. It's something you build with intention. Your vision board is not a dream map. It's a strategic tool for self-leadership, a blueprint for the year you want and the leader you're becoming. So, friends, build it today, make it visible, and let it pull you along all year.
Thanks for listening to Revenue Rascals, where we turn bold ideas into predictable revenue and prove that breaking the rules can still build empires. If you love what you heard, do me a favor. Tap the links in the show notes to support our sponsors. They're the ones keeping this show free so I can keep ungating the six-figure strategies that help you scale faster, lead smarter, and take more freedom home with you. And hey, if you think you'd make an incredible guest or know someone who's built something worth studying, email me at hello@michelleterpstra.com. And until next time, stay sharp, stay bold, and stay just a little bit rascal.